Alright, take number 50. Just kidding. Okay, so today I'm going to be showing you about lenses and what lenses can do for your photography. And this video is mostly for beginners, and I'm going to be telling you guys what all the numbers mean on all the lenses and just the kind of the basics of when you're starting out your photography. But the three lenses I'm going to be showing you today are my 35mm, my 50mm, and then my 55 to 300 telephoto lens. All the lenses I'm going to be showing you today are Nikon, but Canon, they also make these kinds of lenses too. But I'm a Nikon user. I'm shooting this video with my Nikon D7100, which I got a couple days, about a week ago-ish. So that's all I got for right now. So here we go with the video. Alright guys, I am back with my 35mm 1.8 lens. So I'm going to go over with the numbers on all the lenses for you guys right now and what the numbers mean on the lens. So when you see a number then mm, that means how far the kind of focal length or the focus of the glass in the camera is to the camera or the sensor. And then when you see a 1, then a colon, and a 1.8, the number to the right of the 1, so the 1.8, 2.4, 2, 3, so on and so forth, that is the aperture. The aperture is a device in the lens where it lets light in and out. So when you have lower the number, so when you have a 1.8, that means the more light that is going to come into the sensor, hit the sensor. And then when you have a higher aperture, the lower the light that's going to come into the sensor. So when you open the aperture all the way up, all that light's going to come in, and then when you close it, that's when all the light is going to come, the light is not going to go into the camera, sorry. So the 35mm lens, I mostly use this for landscape. Maybe if I'm taking architecture pictures, I'm taking, maybe if you're in a house, you're taking pictures of a house inside, you get that wider view in your camera. I don't normally use this picture for portraits. Even though you can use this for portraits, it still gives you that really nice blurry background that professional photographers like, what I like, what pretty much every photographer likes when you're taking portraits, because you get the person in focus and then you get that nice blurry background in the back. That is all I have for the 35mm lens. So now I'm going to move on to the 50mm. Alright guys, so I'm back with my 50mm prime lens. Also, two prime lenses that I own, like the 35mm and 50mm. For all of you people that might have forgotten from the last segment, the 50mm means the length between the lens and the sensor, and then the 1.8 means the aperture. The aperture is the amount of light that comes into the sensor, and so you can take the picture. But the 50mm lens is my baby. I use this for practically everything and anything, mostly when I'm taking portraits because that's my specialty. I love this lens with all my heart. It is the best purchase I've ever made in my life because it just made my pictures so much better. So the 50mm lens, I use it for my portraits normally, or if I'm just taking a singular object of something, that's what I use, is I use this. But you can also use it for anything else. Like you can use it for landscape if you like, but you just won't have the kind of wider kind of landscape view when you're taking it. It will be more compact. But that's about it for this lens. Besides, it's amazing. I highly suggest it. This should be the first lens that you get when you save up enough money, or if you have enough money saved up, get this lens. It will change your life. If you're a Canon user, Canon also makes a 50mm lens. It's about the same price as the Nikon, but I highly suggest it. You should get it. If you talk to anybody, they will tell you to get a 50mm lens. So that is it for this lens, and now we'll be going on to my 55 to 300 telephoto lens. Alright, so I'm back with the final lens. It's my 55 to 300 4.5 5.6 lens. So again, 35-300, basically how far the lens goes to the camera. So as you can see, when I twist it, it zooms in. This is all the way at 300, and it goes all the way down to 55s. And you also have a 70, 100, 135, and a 200 in the middle of that. So this one's a little bit more complicated. It says 4.5 to 5.6. So that means how far the lens opens all the way. So it's from 4.5 to 5.6. So you're not going to get that really nice milky background in your pictures. You're going to get more of a sharper image for that. So when I use my telephoto lens, I do use it for portraits sometimes, because if I stand all the way back, like super duper far back from a person, and I'm using my tripod, I can zoom in all the way on them and then focus it, and then I can still get that blurry background, but it's not the kind of blurry that I would like in my pictures. But what I use for this is when I'm taking sports photography. If you're going to take wildlife photography, because you want to get that up close, kind of like you're in the moment right then and there. But that's about it for this lens. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's a telephoto lens, it's a zoom lens. This lens is a lot more expensive than the other two that I showed you guys, but it is a lens that you should have. So that is all that I have for right now. And I'm just going to wrap up the video in this short segment. Alright guys, that is basically it for today's video, but I'm just going to wrap it up and give you a summary of all the lenses. So the 35mm 1.8, mostly use that for landscape, architecture kind of photography, or if you want that wider angle view when you're taking the picture, but you also get the blurry background because of the low aperture of 1.8. 50mm lens, my baby, love that thing to death, also 1.8, so you get that blurry background, perfect for portraits. That's my lens that I use by far the most. And then finally, I have the 55-300 lens, but that lens you mostly use for wildlife or sports photography because you get that up close sharp view when you're trying to take the picture. But that is it for today's video. Wait, prices. So the 35mm and 50mm, they range from, I want to say $180 to $230-ish. There might be a sale on them. Then the 55-300 millimeter telephoto lens, you're probably going to hit around $450 to $500 for that lens, but it's still worth it. But the one lens that I highly recommend, 50mm lens, that's the first lens you need to get, in my opinion, whenever you start doing photography. But that is it. Pretty positive. So hit the like, subscribe button for me. It will give me more motivation to kind of make videos like these for you guys. And then leave in the comment section what I can do to help you guys and what you can help me with, because I learn something new about photography every single day. It's just a constant learning thing, whether it be taking pictures or when I'm editing my pictures. I learn something new every single day. So that is it. Thank you guys so much, and stay tuned for the next video.